Right, thanks for clicking play. So here we go. Week 3. We're getting ready for week 3 of our Meet the Candidate series. First 2 weeks have gone really well. First week, loads of people watching the videos. Second week, fewer, but still, nearly 10,000 views of either the web pages or the videos, TikToks that we've produced for all the candidates. So that's across the board. So it's really interesting. So here we come into week 3. Now, for week 1, we allowed the candidate. I was chopping the candidates after 3 minutes, so it was tight. Week 2, because we struggled with, or the candidates struggled with that the week 1, I thought, right, well, I'll leave them alone and give them a bit more airtime. But then some of them were like, oh, but it's 3 minutes and we've got to keep it to 3 minutes. So I said, all right. So for this one, a couple of the candidates are going to get some extra time. But fundamentally, I thought I'm going to ask the questions using the video. So it's nice and simple. It's been asked before. It'll be on the web page and it'll be asked in this video. So they need to look at those things first. And then the video will start and they'll have their time limit. And when the video stops or when they stop talking, I'll either allow the full video or I'll chop it back to that point in time where we hit the agreed time limit. So it's totally fair for all the candidates, and it's down to them how they make the most of it. Now, there's 6 questions, 7.5 minutes in theory. They choose which order they answer the questions in, how they answer the questions, how much time they spend on the questions. But that's for us to decide as residents. Are we happy with those responses? Did they ignore a question because they didn't like that question? Well, that's down to us to figure out from their responses. And then we'll move on to the week after, and then it'll be the candidates asking the questions. So here are said questions. If I scroll down the little screen here. So question 1, would you support the reinstatement of Channel 1 into the River Thames flood alleviation scheme? This is a big thing for those people who live along the river. There was money put aside by the local council, or should have been, which didn't hit the pot when they were looking for when the Environment Agency were bringing it all together. RBWM didn't pay and therefore have not been included. So this is what that's based around. So I'll just ask it again. Would you support the reinstatement of Channel 1 into the River Thames flood alleviation scheme? Right. Question 2. With social care costs crippling local councils, how would you prevent more councils declaring a Section 114? Section 114 is a notice, a legal requirement. If councils are going to overspend, if they're not going to be kept within their budget, then they have to declare a Section 114. This is basically a notice that gives the full power over to government to take control. They'll send in a few people who will then manage RBWN's finances, and fundamentally it will mean that all the statutory requirements, the legal requirements that we have to cover will be met. Anything extra will be chopped. So lots of the local things that happen with council funding will be cut and chopped away because these new officers that come in will say, no, that's not essential. It's gone. All right. So I'll just ask that question again. With social care costs crippling local councils, how would you prevent more councils declaring a Section 114? Right. Question 3, what are your thoughts on Brexit? I mean, this is something that crops up. GDP is still growing. So, that begs a question. But the question is, what are your thoughts on Brexit? It's simple enough. Also, question 4, where are you on LGBTQI plus rights? Yeah, what's your take on that? Where do you stand? Question 5, is it against the law to pay anyone? It is against the law to pay anyone the minimum wage. So why are pensioners expected to survive on less than the minimum wage? That, to me, is a bloody good question. So answer that if you can. And how will you fix that? No, that isn't in the question. You answer the question how you want to respond to the question. Question again. It is against the law to pay anyone less than the minimum wage, so why are pensioners expected to survive on less than the minimum wage? Question 6, do you believe that war crimes have been committed in Gaza and should individuals be called to account? Do you believe war crimes have been committed in Gaza and should individuals be brought to account? So they are the 6 questions. Please answer them in your allowed 7.5 minutes. And I'll see you on Tuesday afternoon to ask those questions of you. And then residents can see those responses published early in the evening. Around 8 o'clock latest is when I want to get them up, but they might be out before, and I'll send everybody a link. Okay, if you signed up. Thank you very much.